All right, today on Land Beat, we're talking decoy setups for turkey hunting, the do's and the don'ts, and how to be successful using decoys. All right, guys, we're treading lightly on this one because there's a lot of different scenarios that you can find yourself in when it comes to turkey hunting. The time of the season, where you're hunting at, private, public, but there are some generalities that we're gonna use to kind of educate you on the way we set up decoys for turkey hunting. All right, guys, for most of the setups that we're gonna have, what we're actually going to do is really just put out a single hen decoy. And I know that's probably controversial. A lot of times there's a jake involved, you'll see that, or a big strutter decoy, full body, used on some hunting shows. And that's fun and that's really cool. But when I'm turkey hunting, I'm really trying to consider what response that I am going to invoke when a gobbler, a target bird, longbeard, shows up on the scenes and visually makes contact with the decoys. So let's kind of break it down into three categories: negative response, neutral response, and a positive response. When there's a single hen out there, let's say this is taken away, and all they're seeing is a single hen, that's what they're essentially expecting because you're mimicking a hen. So they know as they're showing up and getting within view of your setup that they should be seeing a single hen. So that is either a positive or a neutral response that we're going to get when they see and make contact with a single hen decoy. So when we have multiple people that we're hunting with and cameras and everything, what we're trying to do is take a little bit of that attention off of us and place a decoy out, maybe just offset from the way that bird is going to be coming in and approaching the setup. And that gives them a little bit more of attention and focus that we can get different angles, kind of milk some footage, right? But that is what a single hen is going to be able to afford you. But again, it is a positive or a neutral response because that's what they're expecting. When you go out and you set up a jake decoy, you're obviously going to get a different response because now there is competition on the scene, right? Some people, and we do it commonly depending on the setup, but we'll call and mimic a jake like there's a jake on the scene. We certainly want to do that if we have a jake out in front, but oftentimes this could be a positive, neutral, or a negative response because of the potential that in this neighborhood there's a group or a gang, a flock of bully jakes. That's pretty common where you see 6, 8, 9, 10 jakes all in a group in the spring, and they're running around and basically pushing off, dominating the scene. And so sometimes we've seen this where a jake decoy's out and a longbeard is just going to hang up and they're not going to come in and commit, thinking that there's more jakes in and around that scene and they don't want to get bullied and pushed off. So I would say when you're using a jake and a hen decoy, make sure you know kind of that population dynamic. Is there a flock of jakes in and around that's kind of dominating the scene? That would then say, yes, I'm going to use it, or no, I'm not, and just go with that single hen approach. Another common decoy setup is when you're going to see a strutter, which I don't have here on site, but a full body strutter, and maybe it's a breeding hen situation and she's down on the ground. Oftentimes that's going to be used during an early season scenario when you still have a full, let's say a full flock, right? The longbeards are still with the hens, very much displaying, pitching off the roost, going into strut zones and spending a lot of time there. Longbeards can still be sorting out dominance during the early portions of season, and so having a full body early portion and breeder hen or just a hen feeding can be positive then. But outside of that time frame, I'm really not utilizing a full body strutter decoy mid and late season. Oftentimes too, obviously there's a pecking order within the flock, and if you don't have a dominant bird that you're calling to and they're anticipating there just to be a single hen and they arrive on scene and there's a big full fan, full body decoy, a strutter out front, if they're not a dominant bird, they may not commit either. But then other times they may come in and try and pick a fight, right? We've all seen that footage and that's fantastic. Again, what we're trying to do is essentially make that bird commit, and he'll commit to a single hen no problem, no questions asked. But if you have some competition thrown in the mix with a hen and a full body or a jake, sometimes that can cause them just to hang up. So oftentimes, again, 80%, 90% of the time, it's a single hen decoy for us to get that bird to commit and finish because of that response that it's going to invoke. So a lot of different scenarios. If you're going to use a male decoy, jake or gobbler, make sure you understand what's happening at the time of season, as well as that social dynamic and pecking order with the birds that you're calling to. That's going to help dictate whether to use and put out or carry even a jake or a longbeard decoy. Wish you guys the best of success this year in your decoy setups and hunts. Let us know what you think in the comments below.